And we are live. We are live. I love that Alice and Ursula already in the comments section, even before it's official. This is what I love. Oh, Alice is up with a hello and a pumpkin. Come on, cuteness. Look at that. I love a little emoji. Cute. Oh my God, I thought there was a pumpkin and a knife, but there's just dirt on my computer.
It's from John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah.
It's that emoji. Man, I wish I had that emoji.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's somewhere, right? Well, welcome everybody. It is Monday night.
I'm gonna sit up straighter because Kelsie is all professional and I have my pajamas on. If I sit up straight.
Right. It's all about that posture.
My
it's all
head
about
up and my moon cup straight.
We're so glad that you're here, Alice, Ursula, anybody who else is, watching from the future. We're so glad that you're here.
Or parallel lives. I'm really into parallel lives right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Ooh.
That there's like an actual other like life happening,
Yeah.
In the same time as us, but parallel.
I'm always thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
I always assume it's like assassin Kelsie. That's just what I assume. The parallel. It's probably just like eating more cheese, Kelsie. It's just like nothing that dramatic. It's just like Kelsie with slightly more cheese.
Just yourself eating the things that you don't allow yourself to eat in this life. Because you're like, that's bad for me. And then your alter self eats it.
No, I think I am that parallel person. Like there's probably another person eating healthier. I'm the frosting version of myself. Yeah.
Somebody somewhere is not drinking hot water out of the cup.
Right. They're like, put some flavor in there.
A little bit of flavor in your loom cup.
Oh gosh. Well, we went off the rails early and I love it. But we're pushing into that energy, Jen. That's what we're doing. We are doing a theme like we usually do.
Yeah.
However, Jen made a great point. It's October.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little Halloweeny with this one.
Yeah, and also life is garbage. So
or rubbish if you're fancy.
So we need to darken it down a little bit.
Yeah. Let's get a bit macabre. Let's get a bit evil. That is the thing.
Yeah. So for those, is evil.
Mm-hmm.
And which goes well into we're just talking about good and evil. Parallel lives.
Cheese and more cheese.
Cheese and more cheese. Kelsie, how has your writing been going this week?
To be honest with you, it's been going pretty good, which is a surprise. Yeah, I think I find this pattern for myself is the more I read, the more I write.
Yeah.
So I also am still collecting my dots. I don't know if you guys remember this from a long time ago, or even if I said this on the internet, but I have a daily practice where I collect 7 items. They're just dots that I put on a calendar, and writing and reading is one of them. So I've gone through and I've noticed the pattern that when I read, I write more.
So do you put the dots on there to be like, this is what I'm doing today? Or do you put the dots on there if you achieve it for that day?
Yeah. So I have a goal for the month. And so there's like meditation, writing. I have some art time. I have the plank challenge. I have drinking so much water, so they're personal goals. And I do like 7. And if I don't get all 7, that's okay. But I just want to see the pattern of how much I'm doing.
Oh, so good. You're so good
yeah.
at that.
I feel like if I'm not disciplined, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months go by. And then I'm like, what? Why am I not feeling good? And I know that because I'm not doing stand-up and I'm not writing or sort of being creative in that way, I need to hold myself accountable. And I actually like how I feel when I do it. So but now sometimes, like I said, if I'm not doing the daily practice, I'm also trying to really sort of strengthen my concentration and my focus. And I'm somebody who's very manic, right? I lock myself in a room and crank out a whole 1-person show or a whole script, in like a short amount of time. That's not how I want to be. It's not sustainable. It doesn't actually make for my best work. When I do good work, I do a chunk at a time, small bits. So I'm not saying it's good writing, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. How about you? What's your process like in the last couple of weeks?
So I kind of took a little bit of a break this week, but part of my break was, I'll just hold it up right here. I had a short story that I've been working on and off, and I haven't messed with it in a long time. And I printed it out and I took it out. I went outside, I sat by myself, and obviously, as we all do. And I just reread it, and I made notes on it, and I'm like, I know what to do with the story now. You know what I mean? It was like I saw it, like I saw the next step for it. So I'm really excited about that. So I set a goal of when to, like, I have rewrites and stuff, and I'm hoping to get it back on its feet and get it back out there. So
nice. So I like that you took the time and the space.
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes you have to put something away for like a long time, so that you literally, when you pick it up again, you don't even read it like it's yours. It feels like it's it feels like you're just a reader, because you just forget about it, and then you can see it again, like it needs to be done.
That's nice. So that balance, I feel like that's really great advice. Reading your stuff like it's like you're a reader, and if you have the distance, I'm sure you were able to do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I can't wait. I hope you tell us the progress as it goes forth.
I will.
Okay.
Keep you guys posted. Yay.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Oh, that's great. And let us know in the comments if you guys are, if you're working on something, how it's going. We got Ursula cheerleading us on. Thank you, Ursula.
Yay, thanks,
Good
Ursula.
job, ladies. I appreciate it. And let us know if you guys are having any challenges or successes. Always feel free to put it in the comment section. And even if we're able to get to it. It's not like we're rushed in the comment section, but even if you come back to one of the videos and after it's live, we'll come back and check it out. So make sure that you're leaving those comments no matter what. And also, I know that Nano is coming up. A lot of folks are practicing for NaNoWriMo. So again, if you don't want to do what we traditionally do, which is 5, 10, and 15 minutes, and Jen will describe that, of course, but I wanted to remind everybody, you can just mute us and use this whole time to write. If you want the full hour, mute us now, right away. Keep on writing, and we'll be here. We'll just be your sort of silent buddies, giving you those vibes. But if you want to participate, Jen, tell them what we're doing.
We're going to do 3 writing prompts with sprints. We're going to do a 5-minute, a 10-minute, and a 15. We'll have prompts for each one. The theme tonight is evil, and you can take the prompts any way you'd like them. Switch them up, throw them away, whatever you want to do. And we have a timer, which is fancy.
And where are these prompts?
In my brain.
Also in the description box.
They're in the chat.
Yeah, they're in the description box below. I actually don't put them in the chat. I should, but they are in the description box.
They're in the description box. I have no help whatsoever.
No, your brain is doing great.
Okay, awesome. So
let's do it.
We're ready. Should we do it? All right, Kelsey's going to set up the timer. The first one is 5 minutes, and your prompt is, who is your biggest enemy? And feel free to use this for a character as well, or you can use it for yourself. Who is your biggest enemy?
All right. Got that timer up. On your marks, get set, and write. All right. Nice
Yay!
timing, Jen. Oh, stop buzzing. I actually heard you come back before I heard the buzzer, so nicely
Oh, did you?
planned. Yeah.
I did it at 3 seconds.
Beautiful.
I was
Just
really
want
on
to say
top
hi
of
to
it.
Alley Cat who swung by.
Hi,
Yay!
Elliot. So glad you're here.
So Jen, 5 minutes. We did the thing. We like to sort of cleanse the brain. What did you find? Anything?
Well, 5 minutes is too short for me to list all my enemies. So I'm just kidding.
You're like, I need a good 5 hours to really
I should
nail
have
it.
had it for a 10 minute for sure. No, I'm just kidding. It was really
Solid
funny.
answer.
I ended up doing a character because I don't know. I feel like I don't have enemies. I'm in junior high. It feels like, you know what I mean. I have people that I dislike and the
Mhm.
people I'm actively moving out of my life, but I don't refer to them as enemies.
Yeah, you've sort of grown beyond as a personal space, so your character has not. Your character has
No,
a
my character's lots of enemies.
yeah,
Yeah, but
nice.
my character's like main enemy was sort of like growing up, like having to
Hmm.
take care of themselves. Like that was so I know that's not really an enemy,
Oh
but
no, but like a society almost, like
yeah,
like a position.
they very much want to be babied and taken care of.
Mm.
That's kind of like their main drive. So sort of the enemy, the being anyone who like forces them to be their age or to be responsible in any way for themselves is sort of the enemy.
Gotcha, gotcha. It's sort of against them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice has got a half a page, which
Oh,
is
nice.
awesome. Ursula made a list of internal and external enemies
Nice.
being carried. But that's a great one. I think the idea of because when that is combined both, I love that, when you have something going on internal, but you're also, whether a plot device or like a character based thing, I love that. I feel that makes for not just good literature, but action driven stories, which I think we were talking about before, how like I'm very internal when I write like this kind of stuff. So I
Yeah.
think having an external something to move towards is a great idea. I did not do that.
The thought too of saying like, okay, this is their internal want, right? Like this is what they want, or this is what they're trying to get away from, and then who's standing in the way of that?
Yeah.
What other characters get in the way of him, doing what doing nothing and being able to be taken care of? That's instantly his enemy,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think that's okay. Like I started writing things personally, same deal of like, okay, what am I, and it was sort of more theory, so like my past memories, gender, people who hold the status quo and won't let anybody move, gatekeepers, those things I think they're good to dig, and I think that's why the 5 minutes is going. But I think I really like Ursula's answer where it's like, it's not very a captivating story, like those kind of things. I think that's maybe a good theme, but I need something more. And so I got to like how to survive in a world that doesn't want you. Cause I kept kind of going back to like gender and society. And me as a person is sometimes I just don't play the game. But that's also not an engaging story. Like, you know what I mean? Like
right.
You need somebody to fight against something. So I think this is just a really good reminder of when I start, like, you can't live here forever. You have to move forward in that way.
Well, that's sort of initial like planning, thinking.
Yeah.
Backstory, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Charlotte, just want to say hello. Yeah. So, how to get somebody active without being it like melodramatic? That's my challenge, I think. And we talked about that when we talked about action scenes. So this is going to be a good one for me. This evil.
Give them an object. Actually, I do that at the last one.
Yeah.
We'll wait for that.
Yeah. Spoilers aplenty. I love it.
Should we jump to the 10-minute?
Absolutely. I'm going to get the timer ready if you want to read it out.
So, guys, our 10-minute prompt is: your character wakes up one morning and decides to do something terrible. What do they do?
Okay. One more second. Let me get this.
I'll say it one more time. Yeah. Your character wakes up one morning and decides to do something terrible. What do they do?
10 minutes. Go. Is it sharing? Yes, it is. Okay. Got it. Time is up.
Yay. How was that?
Okay. Did you stick with your character? What about you guys? What did your characters do? Or did you make it personal? What? Sorry, my eye. There's like my mascara is fighting back. Yeah. Yeah.
Day. Mascara's like, I'm done. How much I slumped down. Just keep getting shorter in the chair. Yeah, I stuck with my character that I was writing in. So yeah, I sort of jumped ahead in time and just had him wake up one morning. He was like, I got to get rid of these people, and just kind of going through the scenarios of like the best way to do it. This is the group of people I got to get rid of, and like murder would cause this problem, an accident would cause this problem. So like the best thing to do is just completely make them disappear. And sort of the justifications for that, just very cold and
yeah. I was thinking too, what would be an interesting exercise, which I didn't do, is to do this for like a character who is angelic, or somebody who would not necessarily do that. Somebody who just decides today they're going to solve a problem, but that problem turns out to be a terrible decision, an evil decision.
Like if they didn't need this problem solved, they would never do this,
which is interesting. Yeah, I really wish, what I wish I sometimes, and I think maybe I'll try to do this for next time. I sometimes don't have a character ready. Like I know other people are working on novels, and if I had a character ready, a lot of people are working on their main characters and things. I think that's helpful, because right now I keep just kind of churning things about myself. Yeah. So what do we got here from Ursula? Wrote about the moment my main character decides to become a vigilante and kills her enemies. Yeah. So that moment too is pretty crucial, which it sounds like Ursula, the moment, because I do think that's where the tension is, right? Because I feel like in a lot of those stories, once they decide, it's like gone, like they're in, but it's that moment, which is really interesting.
Well, it's making the justification, right? Like I am allowed to do this, or I am justified in doing this because of X, Y. Like this drove me here, or this is my reason.
Yeah, and I know this is like a trope, but there's also like a lot of threshold crossing, whether it's through a physical door, a gate, a barrier. Like you're here and you decide vengeance is the way you're going, or whatever. And then we have Alice here. I'm using the main two characters for my book that she's prepping, using this time to get to know them. Rad. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I went personal, and it got real, therapy-esque. So I'm not quite sure if we're going to be sharing it at this moment.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, I got to talk to my sister about this story. Something I never really mentioned in a lot of my solo stuff that I do. There's an incident where when I was a kid, I took one of my mom's nail polishes and I painted over all of our family photographs. And it did not go well after that. As a kid,
the frame or like outside of the frame?
Yeah, so my mom has a bunch of, my mom's like a photo junkie. And we had these really nice ones done. By nice, I'm sure it was like Sears, but but it was taken. And I remember taking them down, and I know this is where the memory gets fuzzy. I remember, I'm a kid though, I'm like 5, because we lived in a house where I was like 5 or 6. I don't know where any of the parents were at this time. And I just, rage painted, because I'm a kid. And then my dad came home, and that's where the therapy stuff comes in. Like it gets rough. And I feel a lot of guilt about it to this day, because my sister took the blame in a physical way. And I don't remember much other than that. I remember she was standing and then she wasn't. And then it gets all blurry. So, yeah. Foreshadowing. I mean, what a smart 5-year-old to be like, this family's fucked.
Yeah, you're like going down with nail polish.
I know. Anyway, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like in my brain, I'm the bad guy in this story. And you're writing it now and you're like, what are you talking about? You're a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah, you had no voice,
We
and
know
so
who the
your
bad
voice,
guy in the story
yeah, your
is.
voice was you were is a physical manifestation of your emotion that you couldn't voice. You weren't allowed to voice, and you didn't know how to
Yeah.
voice at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's interesting to think of like as a kid at these things, and this is something like your character, not even if it's not, if you're not writing something like from a personal point of view, but how it gets morphed and how that makes your character feel. Like if this character, not to steal like Ursula's thing or whatever, but if you have this moment happen to you where you feel so much shame that you're a bad person and you bring that with you, what does that mean the character's going to do going forward
yeah,
with that action? It could be as simple as this sort of tiny moment in childhood that is your whole, potential through line.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well,
Were the frames easy to clean? No, they were not. Great question. It's like, stop overreacting, parents. Just wipe it down.
I mean, let's give it up. It was a Sears portrait in a Sears frame, so it probably wasn't that expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to sort of write outside of myself and use this stuff for characters, but I think a lot of these things that I've written about and haven't shared, I can use in a more fictional way.
Sure, if you want
Yeah.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting now too, like as a parent, like if my kid did something like that, or you're just like, it would just be like,
A more exhausted response than
you know what I
pure
mean?
violence.
Like,
Yeah.
I left the nail polish out. Oh my
Yeah.
god! Like my own, it'd be my fault for leaving it out because they're
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Well, you're a healthy parent. Way to go, you.
I would just throw it away. I mean, I can't even look at it. Like whatever it was you painted is just gone now.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you a question too, and everybody else who's making short stories. I feel like one incident like this, not just this, but like a one incident is something that you can really delve into in
Sure.
something like a short story, as opposed to, I don't know how to make something like this into a novel. But yeah, I'm going to flag all of these because we also know that one of the goals is to start flagging all these stories to make something more out of them this
I was
fall.
just thinking, I was like,
Yeah.
put a little pin on it because that's the kind of stuff that, yeah, we can be working with in our fall winter project. Kelsie and I have projects.
Project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really enjoy the like, picking the stuff out of here that like resonates with us the most and like starting to really hone in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will put a pin on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, but we've got the big Mama Jamma coming
I'm
up.
ready.
The
All right.
15-minute.
Yep. Here we go. Let me find it here. Okay. 15-minute prompt number 3. Here we go. Write a scene where I can't even say this word. Is it inanimate? Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did it.
Okay, I was fucking saying it wrong. Write a scene where an inanimate object is evil. Write a scene where an inanimate object is evil.
Get
Doll,
Halloweeny.
house.
No, we didn't say gremlin, but we did.
It's going to be a doll.
All right, here we go.
Lamp.
You're just saying what you see now. You're like loon mug.
Loon mug. All right,
On your marks, get set. Right. Yay! 15
Nice.
minutes done, everyone. We did it. 5, 10, and 15. Jen, there were some questions that we missed just because we kind of jumped into our thing. So I don't know if we want to grab on this. So this is kind of off the 10-minute write-in. Ursula, I agree with the short story idea. It's a very creative expression of a larger problem. I'm wondering if you guys have any other like short story like stories that you read, or if you have any favorite ones. I love reading short stories, but I love any more suggestions you have because I feel like it helps me. And then Charlotte was asking, are your stories character based?
Mine generally are. I guess I just, it just depends on, I think, how different people see their way into the story. And I always see my way in through the character. So like, that's just what I think of first. I usually just generally think of a character or somebody starts talking and, but I think that's just me. There's a lot of people who see it in, their way in through the setting, or they see their way in through like, some other way. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm still starting from that. I'm not as experienced, obviously, as writing fiction as a lot of you are. I'm doing it from a comedy or an essay or a personal point of view often, but I'm dabbling. I'm trying to dabble. I even feel like for the last solo show I did, I was trying, to experiment with even more heightened stuff, and it didn't translate into the solo show, so I put it aside and I use it for like a screenplay. So it's starting with what I know, events in my life and I'm just trying to heighten them. But these writing exercises and really like COVID and staying inside and not doing a stand-up I've created more character stuff because of it.
Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome. But again, I think it's whatever entryway you have into your story. Fine. Yeah.
I like the idea too of being able to play. I know that a lot of you have like specific goals that you're looking to, but for me, I'm not quite sure where these stories are going to go just yet. So that's kind of playful. Speaking of playing, like, did you find this the evil inanimate object to be playful, to be daunting? Is this like you're right up your street?
Yeah, it was really fun. I did like this sort of drink. I've been playing around in the story with this kind of like it's almost like a Gatorade-esque type of drink, like a sports drink, or like a vitamin-enriched drink that like does weird things to people. So that's kind of what I use. Yeah, I'm playing with.
Nice. Yeah. We got Alice over here doing a page. Main character just figured out what was going on. I need more time. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but Alice, just another question. Like, I sometimes do this. I know that there's a lot of folks where you go to AuthorTube that, if you're looking, I know that we only do this once a week, but if anybody's looking for more, there's a bunch of them out there. You can also just go through ours ones if you need literally more time. And you feel like you want us yelling at you or cheering you on. You can always go watch some videos back. I sometimes do it with other YouTube channels as well. But I hear you. Time is tricky. I love this exercise because I feel like it's one of those things I like speculative fiction or science fiction, where I think our current time period is going to definitely establish, like, you are using a sports drink, right? So there's sort of like commercial, heightened, make the most of yourself, this like be the best you could be, how that kind of commercialism and productivity can come back to haunt you. I did a machine. It was sort of like an MRI machine, like where a lot of these holistic people, there's like promising salvation. Everybody wanted the answers, which I think a lot of us want, whether in whatever capacity, right? Looking for these answers. And they want the truth, there's this sort of enlightened, woke community, and they're given this machine and they pay this procedure to do it. And they're 100% toward the truth, and no one wants to hear it. So they all destroy the machine at the end. Like there's this one thing that gives you what you want and you reject it.
You cannot take it. Oh yeah. I feel like I would know that going in. I would like, no, thank you. I have to have a slight veil, what I mean? Even if I know it's the veil that I put on, like, I gotta have something.
Yeah. But I feel like that's something like how people feel about climate change. They're like, nope, not happening. House is on fire, but we're just dancing. It's like there's this machine here that is trying to show you like the joyful suffering and face it, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, nope. I don't know. I just think I love that. I'm not sure what's
Well,
going
it's
to
like
happen.
it's a very like a lot of short stories, like older ones, Twilight Zone-y type stuff.
Yeah.
You know, to talk about like people finding out the day that they're gonna die. Like everybody wants to know when
Yeah.
they're gonna die, and then they find out. And it's like, then how can you function after that? Like you can't
Yeah.
function anymore. So
Sure,
it's
sure.
the idea that like it's a Pandora's box, right? Like you can't open it. You don't. If you do it, it will destroy you. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get that as a trope, and I'm wondering on the flip side, because we're in this age of knowledge and information. And we have all of it at our fingertips, and yet we're paralyzed and we do nothing. So let's say
Yeah.
Pandora's box opens and you're like, fake.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, what?
No, it's true. I think the more information we have, the more shut down you get, because it's just too much. People can only handle. That's why I think something that people have been talking about and I've been trying to do is like, okay, I'm going to focus in on what I can do in my everyday daily life. Like, what can you do in your community? What can you do in your neighborhood? What can you do in your own home? Keeping things really small. And that allows people, you're actually achieving more. I think if you're trying to look at the big picture and trying to conquer the big picture or help out the big picture, you're just absolutely going to get snowed on.
Yeah. But I think that's where you're and my Briggs Myers is different.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you're somebody who does have to focus. I have to do the other thing to motivate me to do the smaller thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that there's a sense of justice.
Yeah, you need to see. Well, it's okay to, again, it's like with writing. It's okay to step back and look at the big picture. You have to sometimes. But you can't live in the big picture. You have to step back and look at it, and you got to make it really small again.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the story that I'm writing is saying the opposite, which is interesting.
Yeah,
you know, which is like,
that story.
Yeah.
Fascinating. What does it do to people? And I mean, this is just my take on it. What does it do to somebody else when they look at the big picture? You know what I mean?
Right.
And some people empowered by that.
Right. Like some people are blind. Some people are in denial. Some people just want to destroy the machine. Some people maybe go into the woods and they're like, you're right. We are all animals.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But yeah, it's an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like this idea of like, you think something, is it evil or is it not? Like, I like that thing too of like, anyway.
That's kind of what mine was too. It's like, is it evil or is it helping you? Like people are like,
it's
gonna make everything great. It's going to make you so much healthier and so much better.
All right.
Yeah.
Or is it not? Anyway, I just think it's interesting. We're up. We're out of time. Oh my gosh. Yay. So we're going to obviously be back here on Monday, 7:00. I hope everybody keeps on writing. And any goals that you have, Jen, for the week?
I just wanted to share, I'm going to put it right here in the comments. My podcast came out this week. Woo! That I'm doing with my husband called Creepy History. So it's down there. It's in the comments. Check it out and let me know what you think and enjoy. It's very fun. We'll have one every week. Yeah,
Jason and I had a little road trip and we listened to it on in the car ride. So it was just like you guys were in the back seat. It was great. We were like talking like that's the beauty of podcasts, right? I don't usually podcast because I'm not in a car and that's when I listen. But we were in a car and I was like, you know what we have to be listening to right now? Creepy history.
But it's been a delightful pandemic project. So
yeah. Awesome. So besides the advice would be to listen to the podcast, do you have any other words of wisdom?
I do.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Alice. If you decide to go all out for Halloween, as we did, because we don't get to leave our house, and you buy a giant 7-foot ghost to hang in your front, it's going to float by your window and it's going to scare the shit out of you all the time. This whole time I've been like, it keeps going whoosh, whoosh, and it's very upsetting.
So you frightened yourself on the season. Yeah.
So just be mindful of that.
Solid advice. We've got congrats on your podcast. We've got a lot of thanks in the comments. And thanks to everybody here. Thanks, Jen, for the prompts, for your advice, for the podcast, for hanging out.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Next Monday.